Osrc News at 7. Governor Aiyedatiwa's full cabinet takes shape as Ondo Assembly confirms last nominee. NECO releases 2025 BEC results as admission controversy sparks calls for reform of Nigeria's university entry system. Oyo deploys high-tech surveillance planes to combat insecurity. And from the foreign scene, World Food Programme launches emergency food airdrops in conflict-hit South Sudan. Good evening and welcome to the News at 7, coming to you live from Osrc Television. I am Obi Chukwemeka Oti. We begin from the home front. The Ondo State House of Assembly has confirmed the outstanding commissioner nominee, completing the list of appointments sent by Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa. The confirmation, which comes barely 1 week after the initial batch of 15 nominees was ratified, brings the total number of confirmed commissioners to 16. House of Assembly correspondent Omoshila Adesayajaye now reports.
The Ondo State House of Assembly on July 1 this year confirmed 15 out of 16 names of commissioner nominees earlier submitted by Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, leaving out Abiola Olawoye, who was unable to appear before the Assembly, having gone on official assignments. The motion for the adoption of Selection Committee's report and subsequent confirmation of the nominees was moved by the Majority Leader Olatunji Oshati and was seconded by lawmaker representing Akoko Northwest Constituency 1, Fatai Atere.
I wanted to thank Mr. Governor for the well-considered appointment that he has done. The appointment is yet another proof demonstration of Mr. Governor unwavering commitment to excellence, especially his wisdom in identifying men and women of proven integrity, competence, and professional distinction that Engineer Olawoye belongs to. I hereby move a motion that confirmation of appointment of commissioner nominee as commissioner designate is hereby moved.
My brother, the commissioner nominee, I joined the people of Ondo State to say congratulations and I wish you well. God with you. Mr. Speaker, I rise this to second the motion moved by the Majority Leader that appointment of the commissioner nominee be confirmed in this chamber.
The Speaker, Olamide Oladiji, read the report of the Committee of the Whole and announced Olawoye's confirmation following satisfactory performance during screening.
We move and duly seconded that the commissioner nominated, that is in person of Engineer Ayorinde Olawoye, be confirmed as a commissioner designate. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. I have it.
He congratulated the new commissioner designate and urged him to justify the confidence reposed in him by the governor and the people of Ondo State. Responding, Mr. Olawoye expressed gratitude to the governor and the assembly for the opportunity to serve again and pledged to bring his wealth of experience into the cabinet to support Governor Aiyedatiwa's administration in advancing the development of the state.
Also use this media to appreciate the State House of Assembly for their dedication and support and commitment towards the development of our state. Thank you very much for this great opportunity. I really appreciate you. I believe that in this state of assembly, our strength will not fail us. Thank you very much, sir.
With the confirmation of the final nominee, the Ondo State Executive Council is now fully constituted, setting the stage for policy implementation and governance across sectors. Meanwhile, no fewer than 4 executive bills were read for the first time during the plenary. Omoshila Adesayajaye, Osrc News.
To education now, the Ondo State government has announced the academic calendar for the 2025-2026 school session in the state. According to a circular issued by the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, the first term will commence on September 15, 2025 and run for 14 weeks until December 12, 2025. There will be a midterm break from October 31 to November 3, 2025, while the first term holiday will last 3 weeks from December 15, 2025 to January 2, 2026. The statement said the second term is scheduled to begin on January 5, 2026 and continue for 13 weeks until April 2, 2026. According to the statement, the third term will run for 12 weeks, starting April 27, 2026 and ending July 24, 2026. The circular directs all public and private schools in Ondo State to strictly adhere to this calendar and also instructs schools to observe all public holidays declared by the federal and state governments. Still on education, following a meeting with the Ondo State government, the Joint Action Committee of Ondo State-owned tertiary institutions has announced the immediate suspension of their ongoing 14-day warning strike. The strike involved staff from Adekunle Ajasin University, Akungba Akoko, Olusegun Agagu University of Science and Technology, Okitipupa, University of Medical Sciences, Ondo, and Rufus Giwa Polytechnic, Owo. The committee comprises the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, Non-Academic Staff Union, NASI, National Association of Academic Technologists, NAT, and Senior Staff Association of Nigeria Polytechnics, SANIP. A statement by the Joint Action Committee said the decision to suspend the strike follows several key resolutions reached with the state government, including the payment of the final tranche of the wage award settlement of outstanding January 2017 subventions to the 3 universities to help offset arrears owed to staff members. Others include approval to increase monthly subventions to all tertiary institutions, subject to thorough reviews of their income and expenditure reports, and commitment from the government to support the implementation of technological systems to monitor the financial activities of these institutions. The Joint Action Committee expressed gratitude to the government for the positive engagement and urged continued collaboration for the advancement of tertiary education in Ondo State. Staying with education, the National Examinations Council, NECO, has released the results for the 2025 Basic Education Certificate Examination, BECE. A total of 197,201 candidates registered to sit for the exam, which covered 12 subjects. Chairperson of the award committee and Director of Basic Education at the Federal Ministry of Education, Folake Olatunji David, expressed satisfaction with the processes leading to the release. The committee also approved the timetable for the BECE receipt examination scheduled for July 23 and 24, 2025, covering mathematics and English studies. It added that candidates can also check their results through official NECO channels. In another development, graduating with a degree in civil engineering from the Federal University of Technology, Akure Futa, should have marked the beginning of another chapter for Basola Jamiu. Instead, his journey took a nightmarish turn until a wave of student-led advocacy helped bring justice. Caught between a university that stood by him and a federal agency that insisted his university admission never existed, Jamiu's case sparked outrage and forced a national reckoning. But now there's a twist in the tale and a glimmer of hope. Abidemi Akinrotoye reports on how pressure from student bodies like NANS turned despair into vindication. The reports.
For years, Basola Jamiu did everything right. He passed his entrance exams, gained admission, or so he believed, into FUTA in 2017 and graduated 7 years later with an excellent degree in civil engineering. He looked forward to mobilization for the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, until it all came crashing down. JAMB rejected his application, claiming he was never admitted in the first place.
5 years come to 6 and the RBS due to Corona and ASU. So after I'm done, the moment I said, let me just go back home and just feel relaxed. And the day I got that, okay, well, this thing is actually a kind of fake admission, my head wants to blow. Honestly speaking, my head wants to blow. And the day I really got to know that it seems that JAMB is standing on this ground that is actually fake. The more I got deeper into depression. Even a day before I wrote my JAMB, I had a severe attack. I was like almost paralyzed. I just have to force myself to go and write that JAMB. And that is why I believe that even after 250, because my aim is just to have maybe something like 400 over 400 in JAMB.
With no record on the Central Admission Processing System, CAPS, JAMU's future looked bleak.
All years of my labors and efforts, to do things the right way, to try and make a difference in the journey of, in our academic journey. Because I'm a mentor to a lot of students in my school.
As confusion turned to crisis, protests erupted, students rallied, social media buzzed. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, took up its course, describing its plight as an assault on the future of Nigerian youth. NANS issued a 7-day ultimatum to JAMB and threatened nationwide protests. Their prayer paid off. In a major breakthrough, NANS announced that Bashola's name has now been uploaded on JAMB's portal, confirming his admission and clearing the way for his NYSC mobilization. FUTA, from the onset, had insisted that JAMU was duly admitted and graduated through due process. The university submitted all relevant documentation to back its case. While JAMB initially stood its ground, student activism, amplified by national media, appeared to have forced a re-evaluation. The development has been widely celebrated as a victory for students' voices, but also a sobering reminder of how fragile Nigeria's admission system can be. Legal analysts say JAMB's ordeal may have been avoided with better institutional synergy and a transparent admissions audit mechanism.
I will blame the authority, and I even advise the student, the graduate, to sue, even for delaying him at the police custody or whatever. I think I heard that he was actually later detained for some hours. It's contrary to what the law said.
Now, you have deprived this individual with first-class brain. You have deprived him of going to service. You have demoralized him. You have made him to even lose faith in the process. You have scandalized him. They have to mop their mess. JAMB has to mop his mess. If they don't do that, they are not going to find it very cool in court if the guys should decide to go to court against them. And we are already considering that step.
Educational stakeholders are now calling for a full-scale review of CAPS, warning that JAMU's case may not be an isolated one.
Going on social media has nothing to do with the fact that he graduated from FUTA. Has nothing to do with the fact that he was admitted for mechanical engineering. Has nothing to do with the fact that he had 2-1 in mechanical engineering. See, we are talking about somebody's destiny here. Nigeria has a way of killing the dream of his youth. Later they will say we are lazy. Please get the point clear. FUTA admitted this candidate because FUTA saw the students as a JAMB candidate and he chose FUTA. And they have admitted him, he has graduated.
What advice is that please make sure that you secure your proper admission. Not that just continue to attend school without assuring yourself that, yes, I did a valid admission, I did a valid matriculation. Because why the school is supporting that young man is because he did valid matriculations.
For Bashola JAMU, the nightmare is ending, but the national conversation, his story's part, is just beginning.
Should look at how they could work, collaboratively with the examination body to ensure that none of their students experience this kind of thing in future.
For now, Jamiu prepares to join thousands of his peers for NYSC, not just as a graduate, but as a symbol of resilience and a testament to the power of collective action. Abidemi Akinrotoye, OSRC News.
Away from education, President of Dangote Group Aliko Dangote has publicly hailed President Bola Tinubu's administration for its visionary leadership in infrastructure development and flood control initiatives. In an open letter, Dangote expressed satisfaction and appreciation for the president's efforts, particularly highlighting the transformative Bar Beach land reclamation project, Eco Atlantic City, and the ongoing nationwide superhighway constructions. Dangote drew a parallel between the success of the Eco Atlantic City project and the recent flash flooding incident in Kerr County, Texas, USA, which claimed over 100 lives. He praised Tinubu's foresightedness in initiating the Eco Atlantic City, a modern city spanning 1,000 hectares and protected by an 8.5-kilometer long sea wall, which has effectively shielded Victoria Island from coastal erosion and provided new land for development. In the meantime, Dangote Petroleum Refinery has further reduced its ex-depot petrol price from 840 naira to 820 naira per litre, marking the second price cut within a week. This follows a previous reduction from 880 naira to 840 naira on June 30, 2025, bringing the total price drop to 60 naira per litre in about 2 weeks. Dangote, NNPC, and other major fuel distributors in Nigeria hiked petrol prices less than 3 weeks ago, blaming this on the rise in crude oil prices in the international market, as occasioned by the conflict between Israel and Iran. You're watching OSRC News at 7. We'll go on this big break. When we return, we will serve you more stories. Stay with us.
Nigeria's commitment to achieving universal health care coverage is reflected in the unwavering dedication of my administration to uphold this right for every individual, young or old, in rural or urban areas. Health is not merely the absence of disease, but the embodiment of physical, mental, and social well-being. It is a fundamental human right.
Nigeria as a global agricultural powerhouse, supplying quality produce to international markets while ensuring every citizen has access to affordable nutrition.
Powered by Grassroots Movement for Tinubu GMT, Ondo State Chapter. GMT, in God we trust.
You're welcome back. You can watch us live on our website, www.osrc.ng, or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV, and on YouTube, you can subscribe to our channel, OSRC TV Ondo. Now to the rest of the news. As Nigeria edges closer to the 2027 general elections, the African Democratic Congress ADC is beginning to draw attention, with a number of politicians reportedly crossing over to more established parties. This trend has sparked conversations about whether the ADC could emerge as a credible third force in Nigeria's political space. OSRC's Omoriola Ogbenje takes a look at what this could mean for the future of the party and the country.
The political season is gathering steam, and the African Democratic Congress is gradually becoming a destination for politicians looking for a new platform. Reports from across Nigeria indicate a growing number of politicians joining the African Democratic Congress ADC, intensifying discussions about the party's rising influence ahead of the 2027 elections. Such shifts are not new in Nigeria's democracy. Ondo State saw a similar wave in 2006 to 2007. While Nigeria experienced such shifts are not new in Nigeria's democracy, Ondo State saw a similar wave in 2006 to 2007, while Nigeria experienced it in 2014 to 2015. Now, it appears to be the ADC's turn. But the big question remains, can the ADC offer a genuine alternative to the APC and PDP? A scholar, Dr. Gbenga Abimbola, notes that these movements may not reflect any shift in ideology.
Some of them who have rushed to the ADC now, they've been in government. Some of them, Amechi and Co., they've been in government since 1999. So the likes of Amechi have only, even including Rufai was minister. So under Obasanjo since 1999. Now he was first as Bureau of Public and Enterprises, later minister, FCT, and all the rest. These guys have been in government since 1999. They have barely been out of government for just about 2 years, and they are not satisfied.
Veteran journalist Martins Oloja says the party must go beyond defections and build solid structures to avoid becoming a refuge for the politically displaced.
If they can tame their own ambition, this one wants to be presidential candidate, this one wants to be presidential candidate, even those people who should be developing, who should be statesmen, they still want to run. Some people, they say, if I don't become a presidential candidate, that is, you remember that even one of their traducers, one of the person generally believed to be destroying them now, wanted to be a presidential candidate. He was not presidential candidate. Then he wanted to be running mate. They didn't allow him, so he moved away to sabotage the presidential candidate of that same political party like PDP.
Analyst Lekon Olajobi stresses the crucial role of a strong opposition in a healthy democracy, but warns that many political parties suffer from a lack of clear ideology and long-term vision, noting that this deficiency undermines their effectiveness and ability to offer credible alternatives to the ruling government.
Every viable democratic setting is supposed to be an opposition, and the major function of the opposition is to allow the government of the day stand on its toes to make sure the dividends of democracy promised through their campaign and manifestos are given and are implemented to the latter for the benefits of the people.
So, can the ADC rise above the noise to become a real alternative for Nigerians?
Or what becomes of them is another ballgame. Because as yesterday, Peter Obi still reiterated that he was good to contest for presidency and that he was not ready to be a running mate to anybody. So at the end of the day, we are going to see the game unfolding. We are still in 2025 for crying out loud. We still have the whole of 2026 before we enter 2027, the election year. So, but the only thing I am happy about is that this coalition is good for Nigeria just in one aspect of putting the APC government on its toes, so that the APC, Tinubu and APC cannot continue to just rule us with impunity, taking us for granted. But beyond that, I've not seen any redemption. I've not seen any salvation. I've not seen anything that is going to benefit us in that coalition, because those guys that have ganged up together, they are no better than Tinubu and those running Nigeria for now.
With many interests now rallying under the ADC banner, all eyes are on whether the party can manage its internal politics and deliver a clear plan for the country's future. Omoriola Mugiji, OSRC News.
Meanwhile, some People's Democratic Party PDP leaders in Ondo State have publicly denied any involvement in a coalition or merger with the African Democratic Congress ADC. In a joint statement issued in Akure, key PDP figures dismissed reports of defections and alliance talks as mere political distractions lacking ideological substance. The statement was signed by party members including Bode Olajumoke, Eddie Olafesa, Agbola Ajayi and Debo Ologwagba, among others. The PDP leaders reassured their supporters that the party remains strong, focused and united in Ondo State. They said no official coalition discussions have taken place at either the national or state levels, contrary to circulating rumors. Acknowledging concerns raised by the movement of some members, the leaders affirmed that the PDP's organizational structure across the 203 wards and 18 local government areas remains intact and fully operational. They reiterated the party's commitment to rescue, rebuild, and reposition Nigeria and Ondo State through the ballot. The PDP leadership cautioned members against being distracted by defections, labeling such moves as superficial and opportunistic. Now to Lagos, where the State Police Command has announced a total restriction of vehicular movement across Lagos State on Saturday, July 12, 2025, to ensure security during the local government elections. The restriction will be in effect from 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the election day. However, certain groups of people will be exempted from this movement ban. The elections are scheduled to fill 57 council chairmanship seats and 376 councillorship positions across the state's 20 local government areas and 37 local council development areas. The Lagos Police Command has urged residents to comply with the movement restrictions to facilitate a peaceful and orderly election. Moving on to the foreign scene, a global reduction in funding is exacerbating the already critical humanitarian crisis in South Sudan. In response to escalating violence in the country's Upper Nile state since March, the World Food Program WFP has initiated emergency food airdrops to thousands of families affected by the conflict. These urgent relief efforts aim to provide life-saving assistance amid worsening conditions caused by ongoing insecurity and dwindling resources. The report is presented by Urolami Olanikpekun.
Just arrived at this refugee reception center in Kakuma and north in Kenya. They fled from their home in Unity State in South Sudan.
I came to Kenya because of the war in South Sudan. There was no one to help us. I needed to keep my children safe.
There are thousands of refugees who have been forced from their homes in different countries in the region. Half of them are South Sudanese. Mandelina Kwahina has been here for a while, but her brother's children came in July from eastern Equatoria states.
There was a lot of fighting at home. We are farmers, but we can't even grow our crops. If there was no fighting, we wouldn't be here.
Renewed fights think that began as a skirmish in the remote town of Nasser has spiraled into a national crisis, and now a fragile agreement between President Salva Kiir and opposition leader Riek Machar that ended years of a civil war is safe to be dangerously close to collapse. The consequences are devastating for civilians. In South Sudan, the World Food Program has been trying to get food into up and out states for the last 4 months. This is just a fraction of what's needed.
These airdrops that we've started over the last couple of days are crucial and critical to push back that risk and bring people back from the brink of famine.
50,000 people are seeking safety in Ethiopia. What's happening in the region has been worsened by a slowdown in global funding for AIDS.
The majority are women and children and people with special needs, including the elderly. They have come here with nothing, without food, without shelter.
Those who make it to countries like Kenya may be safe, but only just, and their host nations are battling their own storms. Olami Olanikpekun, Osrc News.
To round off the news at 7, here again is the major highlight. The Ondo State House of Assembly has confirmed Abiola Olawoye as Commissioner Designate, completing Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa's list of nominees. The final confirmation brings the total number of commissioners designates to 16. And that's the news at 7. Thank you very much for being a part of it. Good evening.